Hello, today I would like to present a script that I made for Debian 11, but I modified it a little bit for Debian 12, and I will present to you what I exactly did. So first of all, you can see I'm using rancher on the Proxmox, but I decided that I will turn off this virtual machine, and instead I will use my Synology to create a virtual machine there in the virtual machine manager, and I installed Debian 12 on this virtual machine, and I assigned the 10.10.0.123 IP address. Okay, so now let's switch to the command line for a moment, and we'll check the operating system. So cat etc host release, you can see I'm using Debian 12, and also cat etc then hosts. And you can see I have those four entries here. But not only, I will just display it on CM4. You can see they are there, and on worker 1 and worker 2. So I did it, I edited it, and now I have exactly this, because I had previously 120. So this is what we are talking about, but also I will go back to a browser, of course, and we'll switch to Adguard Home, and I modified in my DNS entry to rancher.local now. Goes to 10.10.0.123. Previously it was 120. Lovely. Now we can see the installation script. So install rancher k3s. So what I did, I modified this script the way that I added a check packages, because I need a git and CURL and IP tables to be installed in Debian 11. And you can see the check packages is running as a first one. Then also I modified the generate concepts function, just because Debian 12 has a problem with reading the variable $user from the configuration file for the certificate. And I'm talking about two configuration files. So the one is the root, and the second one is intermediate config, right? Those two. So if I will click it here, you can see the path is modified from home $user CA, in this case to TMP CA, and in the intermediate configuration file, I modified it to TMP CA intermediate. And like this, here we go. And it's modified. So here that path has been changed too. Just, I suppose for security reason, the Debian 12 wasn't able to read from the configuration file properly $user variable. And I modified install rancher k3s cluster and remove rancher k3s cluster scripts the way that I modified the path to TMP directory in both configuration files. So all those files are going to TMP directory, to TMP CA and TMP CA intermediate in case of certificates. And that's it. And the removal is doing the same thing. It's removing directories and files from the TMP directory. Okay, let's go back to the command line. And now I would like to install the script. So clear the screen, and I will just run install rancher k3s cluster. And one thing is worth to mention, that you can see restorecon is not found, just because I'm not using C Linux in Debian. However, if you want, you can install it. By default, it is working in Red Hat family distros. Okay, so the k3 is installing now. You can see Nginx, and okay, the part with certificate. So we need some kind of password. So we need to just use the right button of the mouse to just paste the password. Passphrase, okay. And okay, now one more time. Here we go. If you want to, you can download my install script and modify it the way that in proper place. After wget command that is downloading the configuration file for root certificate and intermediate certificate. After downloading it, because it's downloading it to TMP directory, you can use the set or awk command to modify entries. Like you can see those PL Poland lets you can modify these entries in the configuration file and replace it with your own. This is the best approach. Okay, one more time, passphrase. Here we go, passphrase. Okay, just because eventually you can put your configuration file on your GitHub repository and modify the script to download them from your repository. Okay, passphrase, phrase, one more time, passphrase, and now manually, so PL Poland. It's just because I'm generating now the certificate for rancher.local. Okay, so this is admin and admin rancher, common name rancher.local, and admin info.pl, and challenge password, no optional company name. Write one more time, passphrase, and you can see it's running. So now we have to wait, just because on Synology it's working much slower than on the Proxmox, and we need to wait a little bit longer for Ingress controller and then for Ranger pod. So I set it to 360 seconds for both. I will go back to browser for a moment and I will scroll down the script and I will explain. Here you can see sleep 360 and sleep 360. So because we need to wait longer on Synology. This is the way how it's working there. So go back to the command line and we have to wait a little bit now. Okay, you can see that it is running, and if you are curious what is going on in the background, so we will duplicate it now. And okay, and now kubectl get pods-a, and you can see what is going on there. So we had to wait exactly for this pod, just because it had to be running before we will run the installation of the Ranger. And now we can see container creating. They are creating. And one more time. And if you will use the watch command, we will be able to observe the situation here. So you can see we need a little bit. So I will Control-C to cancel it, and I will go back to this script, and it will be loading, and we need to wait a little bit longer for this. And at the end, it should be installed. Okay, you can see some errors here, but you don't have to worry about this. The most important information is that those three are up and running. So if you will see something like this, home operations, and you can see errors there. So in fact, you can just check what is going on. So kubectl logs, name of the pod, and then name of the namespace. Here we go. And we will check what is going on. And you can see upgrade failed. Another operation, install upgrade rollback, is in progress. So that's the problem. And what you can do, you can just get rid of those three with errors. So kubectl remove remove pods or delete, delete, sorry, vim and bash rc file, first of all. Okay, kubectl should work. Okay, source bashrc, just because there was too many entries there, because I was installing it many times to test it. Okay, and now kubectl, remove, place, delete pods, and now it's good to understand that we how to get rid. So kubectl get pods -a, and now kubectl delete pods, and now this pod and namespace cattle system, like that, has been deleted. If you want to get rid more than one, so you just need to do this and space and this, like no this but this one. Okay, and get rid of this, and now get pods, and all of them are working, and you can see what is going on. Helm operation, the container creating. So I deleted faulty pods, but the restart always policy is working. So next Helm operation is working, and there is also error. So there is a problem with some Helm operation, and I don't know why. I will have to check it, but I suppose that because of this, these, they are completed, and there is all time you can see there is a problem with this. So one more time, kubectl get logs and check this one and namespace cattle system. We will see what is going on. The same information. Another operation, install upgrade rollback, is in progress. So this is the problem, and you can see history max file is not true. So this is the way we can get rid of this, and you can see those are completed. So kubectl delete pods. We go this one. Namespace. You can try to get rid of the faulty one. And watch now. So you need to be sure that everything is up and running and there is no new error. Sometimes you have to just delete the faulty pod, or eventually later we can create something that will be checking faulty pods and will be deleting them automatically. Of course, according to the proper configuration and circumstances and conditions. Okay, but now you can see everything is up and running. There is no error. Control C, and now we can go back to the browser and we can try to open our rancher. So here we go. I will try to click this and rancher.local, advanced, proceed. And by the way, it here, certificate is not valid, and you can see everything is correct, details, and also check in extension the alternative name, and this is correct, 10.10.0.123. So now the password, test 1, 2, 3, 4, login. Here we go, continue, and you should be able to see your version 126.10, and rancher is running. So this is it, and now we can add more clusters there. So import existing, generic, Raspberry K3s cluster, and create it. Just because we have a self-signed certificate, we will use the middle command line one-liner. Now we will go back to the command line go to CM4, just because kubectl get nodes. It's good to perform this command on a control plane on a master node. And here we go, paste this way. And yeah, it's done. And now watch kubectl get pods-a, and you can see everything is up and running. There's no problem with this at all. And you can see container creating cluster agent. The old one is terminated. You can see 2 cluster agents have been terminated, and you have 2 cluster agents running. So that's all. And we can go back to browser, and we can see that everything is running there correctly, but there is one error, but it will be, you can see what is going on. It's connected, reconciling, and now it's gone just because those pods have been terminated and they do not exist anymore. So everything is up and running, machine pools. And if you will go to home cluster, you can see we have 2, that is interesting. We have 2 clusters added, and one is important than the second one. So yeah, that was the problem. But we can get rid of this, and we can easily delete the one, and we will just delete it. Raspberry, delete it. It's always good to remember to get rid of the, and you can see it's removing. Reconciling, go back to home, and it's removed, right? So you can see something is going on here, and you can then delete it too. Get rid of this. Enter Raspberry. You can, okay. Why I cannot get one more time? Home. That is interesting. Manage and delete it. Raspberry. Okay. Well, I will go back to the command line now. Go, and what I can do, I can, instead of apply, use replace. That, and error. Being terminated. Okay. There is a cleanup. Now everything is up and running correctly. And now can apply it. It's created. Lovely. Watch it now. And it should be working. Go back to the browser, and we will see what is going on there. Copy the code, paste it here. Why I can't delete it? Now it's okay. Sometimes you need to refresh it. And now import existing, generic, Raspberry, K3S cluster, create, and wait. And that is all. So now it is waiting. You can see it's important, but it's waiting. So we're waiting for the cattle agent. You can click manage. Go here. Conditions is connected. Cluster agent is not connected. And now it's gone. Go back to home. And everything is up and running correctly. And now the cluster is working. Both CPU, memory, so we can see it. And go to preferences. You can switch to light version. Go to home. And lovely. And also you can just click it here and you have everything up and running. There is no problem with this at all. And Raspberry is working. You can use kubectl shell. And what is interesting, that you can use the shell directly in the rancher, and it is the shell that should connect you to rancher, should connect you to the cluster, not the local one where the rancher is installed, but in this case to the cluster with the Raspberry. kubectl get nodes, and we'll see it. You can see exactly CM4, Worker1, Worker2. So we are there, and we can work with the cluster that we already connected. This is the way how everything behaves. So Control D and disconnected, clear, and close the terminal. And you can see killing. So it created a pod, and in our CM4 cluster, our Raspberry Pi and CM4 cluster, because I'm using one CM4 and one cluster, and two Raspberry Pis, and I will would like to talk about more about this, just because here you can of course use namespaces, so you can create a new namespace, and you can see you are exactly in the Raspberry Pi cluster, two Raspberry Pis and one CM4 board with CM4 compute module. And yeah, this is exactly the way that you can manage it. Of course, you can also use a portainer if you want to, and you can manage to the portainer and the whole cluster. But I just decided that I will show you first the rancher and how to add a cluster in rancher, and that you need certificates and you need SACERT, so you need to use chain, of course, and you need to root. In SACERT you have only root certificate, and in TLS CRT you have a chain, and in key is of course a key. So this is it. You need to all of this to be able to add cluster, and that is why I created the script, and I decided that I will share it with you to give you the opportunity to use it, install it, and configure your own cluster, your own rancher, to be able to add another clusters if you want to. So you can see you can import not only, as I mentioned, generic, but also Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud. So yeah, this is exactly it. And in local, if you will run the kubectl shell, it will open the shell exactly from this cluster. So it's a one node cluster. There is only one node, and here you have 3 nodes. And yeah, this is it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. Have a nice day or night. Take care. Bye bye.